Hello, dear friends, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of the 26th of October through the 1st of November. We are already at the end of this month, and we are also having a couple of interesting changes during the week. Mercury retrograde is changing signs, so this is definitely something we want to talk about. Venus is also changing signs. Venus is ingressing Libra, which is good news because this is a very strong beneficial position for Venus and hopefully for all of us. So we are going to talk about this. And at the end of the week, we have some pretty intense combinations. There is a full moon on Saturday, which comes together with an exact opposition between the Sun and Uranus. So basically, Uranus is part of this full moon and can bring lots of changes and more intensity, but also some possible insights. And actually, on Sunday, the 27th of October at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I will make a live video about the upcoming full moon. So you definitely want to come to my Instagram account, join me live if you can at 10 a.m. on Sunday, or watch the recording after that. You will find the link to my Instagram account below, and you can also see it here in the bottom of the screen. So we have a pretty intense full moon on Saturday, and on Sunday we are having a square between Mercury and Saturn. So the end of the week can be quite intense. There could be some kind of struggles. We will talk all about this. Let's start first of all with Monday, which comes with lots of Neptunian Pisces energy. The Sun has a square and a half with Neptune. And this is a minor challenging aspect which can trigger our imagination, which can bring lots of creativity, but also possible mistakes, possible confusion, some kind of complications, or some kind of unrealistic goals. And we need to be more careful, especially when it comes to something more practical, something which requires detailed approach or more concentration or more pragmatic attitude. Frankly, we may struggle with that on Monday. On top of that, the moon is in Pisces, which actually accentuates even more this Neptunian energy. And it's a great time for some relaxation, for some creative projects, for spiritual practices, meditations, healing practices, all of it. It's great. But in the more practical areas, we need to be more cautious, like business, finance. We have some triggers here of Scorpio sign, which can bring potential challenges. So be more cautious with those areas on Monday. Then on Tuesday, we have those interesting ingressions that we mentioned. Mercury retrograde is moving back to Libra, from Scorpio to Libra. And this is a very interesting situation because when Mercury retrograde changes sign positions, it means that some of the things that have happened or we have planned in the previous period when Mercury was retrograde in Scorpio may actually be cancelled in some way or reconsidered or may no longer be relevant. This is a specific case when a retrograde planet actually changes the sign position, and usually it means that something will be cancelled, something will go through a transformation. And this would apply for the next around a week or so, basically the last phase of Mercury retrograde. And this is one thing we need to consider, is that some of the things that happened around, let's say, the past 2 weeks might be canceled or reconsidered during the next 1 week. And overall, the focus is more on our relationships, on partnerships, on finding the balance, and more on communication with other people. On the other side, Venus, which is the ruler of Libra, is coming home. Venus is ingressing Libra. And this is very positive for our relationships, for our potential to find the balance, to enjoy beauty, to be surrounded by more nice visual things, if you will. And it's a great shift actually, because recently Venus was in Virgo, which is not a comfortable position for Venus. Now with Venus coming back home in Libra, this can bring a positive, beneficial impact for our personal life, for negotiations. Even though Mercury is retrograde, we know that Mars is still retrograde as well, but it could be a nice atmosphere, or we can find more balance in our life. Also on Tuesday specifically, Venus and Mercury are having a very positive aspect. This is called a semi-sextile, which can be great for negotiations, especially with people that we already know, maybe something that we have already discussed, maybe we couldn't find solutions, maybe things can change now. So for communication, even for relationships, this day can be especially positive. And even for some kind of financial decisions, we can be both rational, we can find solutions, we can evaluate things properly. This is one of the greatest qualities of Libra, our ability to evaluate things objectively and properly. And the moon is still in Pisces on Tuesday, which brings this romantic and also more emotional atmosphere. Generally, we can be more sensitive. We may not feel so motivated to work hard or to put some kind of physical effort. Instead, we can dream more, we can fantasize, we can use our imagination, and overall for some creative work and also for spiritual practices, this is a great day. Next, we have Wednesday. The moon is in Aries. We have missed here the planet in opposition. This is actually Venus. The moon in Aries will have an opposition with Venus in Libra. The two feminine planets are confronting each other. And what may happen is that we may have some kind of struggles in communication, in relationships. Financial decisions may also be not so good. We can be either more impulsive or we may hesitate. So we need to be more cautious with financial decisions, with communication, especially with women in relationships, in negotiations. As we said, things can be more intense. And overall, the ingression of the moon in Aries brings more energy, brings more desire to take action. We may experience some kind of increased vitality. Overall, there is quite a shift between Wednesday and the previous 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. So overall, more dynamic energy, more enthusiasm, more impatience, more potential to confront with other people. But overall, if we direct this energy in a constructive way, we can achieve lots of things. Next, moving on to Friday. No, actually, I skipped Thursday. Why did I do that? Let's go back to Thursday. The moon is still in Aries, but it's having some pretty interesting aspects. First of all, there is a conjunction with Mars retrograde, which happens also to be the ruler of this sign. And it can really bring a strong desire to do something, to change something, to maybe take certain new steps, to take certain risks. At the same time, it accentuates the retrograde motion of Mars, and internally we might find some kind of inner conflict or certain desire to do something. But there's also a square with Jupiter, which means that there might be some kind of misalignment between our goals or our own philosophy or our beliefs, and on the other side, the actions that we need to take or we want to take. And overall, it's all about the balance and maybe making some kind of change, doing something in a different way. Overall, the day is kind of neutral for business, finance, relationships. It could be more unfavorable for communication, mostly because of this Mars aspect, which can make us, well, more impatient, more incapable of making some kind of compromises. But it really depends on how we are going to use this energy, because this may also bring higher motivation, and it may also turn into something constructive and positive. So Thursday, I would say, really depends on what we will do with this energy, and we might use it in a positive and constructive way. It really depends on us. Then we have Friday, which is also quite interesting because Venus is having a creative aspect with Uranus. This combination can bring some variety, some positive surprises, some positive changes. It's great for relationships, for communication, for more creativity, having some kind of different approach. And overall also can be positive for financial decisions, making some kind of new step or changing our priorities, making some kind of purchases as well. And on an emotional level, I think it can be quite exciting. The moon is in Aries most of the time, most of the day, and it also brings enthusiasm, some possible impatience, some desire to move on, to, make some kind of new steps, make new decisions. And around the evening, the moon is already in Taurus, which can bring more calmness, can make us more grounded, also more focused on finding some kind of pleasures, maybe have a lovely meal or just pay more attention to the atmosphere around us. Overall, Friday can be quite positive for personal life issues, for family stuff, and potentially even for financial things and creativity as well. And next we have the weekend, which, as I told you in the beginning, is more stressful. On Saturday, we have a full moon, and remember that there will be an in-depth analysis of this full moon on my Instagram account. You can find my name here at the bottom of the screen or check the link below. And you will learn actually all about this full moon on this special video. Overall, the most important here is that actually Uranus is part of this full moon. The sun will be in opposition with Uranus, and Uranus will be in exact conjunction with the moon. And this can bring extreme desire for change, for independence, some kind of unexpected situations or desires, or even in communication, things can be more unpredictable. And on the other side, the positive manifestation of this is that we can be very creative. We may think out of the box. We can do something very different. We can be very original in our activities, in whatever we want to do. And again, you can see there could be some kind of stress, but we can use it in a positive way. Overall, this is an aspect which can make people quite nervous, impatient. Literally, the nervous system can be overreactive. On the other side, the sun is having a positive aspect with Jupiter, which can allow us to think in a different way, maybe be more capable of seeing the bigger picture, think about our priorities and our future plans. So this can really bring a little bit more philosophical attitude. But as we said, Saturday can bring changes, surprises, and we need to be careful with almost every area of our life. For creativity and spirituality, this is a very, very positive time. And also for letting go of something, changing your patterns, your focus, your goals. It can be very enlightening. So quite interesting and intense. And finally, we have Sunday, which comes with, I would say, the most challenging aspect during the week, which is the square between Mercury retrograde and Saturn. This can bring, first of all, a negative attitude, negative way of thinking, negative thoughts, can make us more suspicious, sometimes even a little bit more depressed. In communication, there might be lots of struggles. There could be misunderstanding, or people can be suspicious, not really open to hear others. We may have also certain doubts or fears. So it's really, really accentuated. And it's also time to think about the past, maybe something that we need to let go of, maybe something that needs to be transformed, especially if this is something that's a pattern, something that's, you know, already in our lives, in our minds. It could be a time to let it go. But as you can see, in most of our life areas, we may find some kind of struggles, and we need to be prepared for that. The moon is in Taurus, which makes us more grounded, more focused on practical, concrete things, taking care of our body. And also the atmosphere around us is very important to feel comfortable, to feel safe. And this is something which can balance our mental stress or negative way of thinking. So with that, my friends, we covered the most important events during the week. As you can see, we have lots of shifts. The week starts in a quite calm, dreamy Neptune way, especially Monday and Tuesday. Then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are much more dynamic. We can be more productive. There could be some surprises. And the weekend is also quite accentuated. Saturday can be quite surprising with some shifts, but also possible tension. And on Sunday, we may actually feel more stuck. Things can be kind of, you know, the way they are. We may not be able to change them that much. So we have lots of ups and downs during the week, and also opportunities to make reassessments of the past and let the unnecessary things go. Let them go, let them out of our lives, our minds, our hearts, whatever you will. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video. Have a wonderful week. Let me know, how do you feel with all of those shifts? Which one is the most triggering for you? And I will see you next week. Take care.